Hi, I'm Quentin, Head of Dropship at Freedom Furniture. Freedom is an iconic Australian brand in the interior space. We've grown from 27,000 products to 45,000 products in the last year. As we scaled, so did the chaos. We didn't need a CRM that just could log data. We needed a CRM that could scale with us. What we're building with Monday is not just scalable, it's bulletproof. Tasks happen automatically, updates are happening in real time, no silos, and teams are all connected. Over the last 8 months, saved more than 8,100 hours, and it's returned 26 times ROI, which has been a fantastic result. We've been able to manage a massive project of growing within a short period of time because of all the foundations we've set. Today, the Monday.com CRM runs everything from our vendor management, our compliance, our sales pipeline, and even our projects. It's given us this unlimited potential to scale, but more importantly, it gave the team more confidence to take ownership.
Hi everyone. It's been a big morning. There's been some heavy hitters on stage today, so I'm especially Ned this morning, obviously with his motivational speak. One thing that I took away from that was I'm a bit lazy and I should probably take the stairs a little bit more, and probably also lean into the uncomfortable. And this probably is one of my most uncomfortable things, is public speaking. But I know that it really pushes me, and I know that we've got a good story to tell for Freedom. And hopefully that kind of resonates with you today. So don't worry, I don't always hide just behind the cushions when someone mentions data migration. But here's the thing, scaling with confidence just isn't about getting bigger. It's also about growing with confidence. Confidence in your people and your systems and your ability to keep delivering excellence while things are moving super fast. And so that's been the story of Freedom over the last few years. We've built a structure to support the growth while protecting what makes us special. It's what allows us to keep. It's what allows us to keep connecting with people to comfort without having to hide behind the cushions. You're probably wondering, who is this kind of cushion-obsessed guy? My name is Quentin Williams, Head of Dropship for Freedom Furniture, and as someone who was sitting in the audience last year at Elevate out at Darling Harbour, it's a real honour to be presenting today. I definitely wanted to be sitting on a panel down there and hiding behind someone who could ask me questions, but instead they pushed me up into telling this story. As I mentioned, I was sitting where you are last year in the audience, listening to leaders talk about transformation, and I realised that Freedom has a real story to tell. I remember thinking, we're growing fast, but are we scaling with confidence? And that thought stuck with me and kind of became the spark for everything that followed after that. I lead Freedom's dropship assortment with more than 55,000 products. Most of you don't know that Freedom does have a dropship program on the end. And those of you who don't know what a dropship program is, it means that we supply from over 200 suppliers locally, direct from those suppliers into consumers' homes. So the story is, we don't have rubber walls, our stores don't have rubber walls, and neither do our warehouses. So we leverage these partners to grow our assortment online for our customers who are demanding more from us every day. My role is to make sure that the Freedom brand is more accessible to a lot more people. And so we enhance the accessibility to the Freedom brand by offering an extended range of furniture and homewares, connecting to the customers and quality and design they love. A place to call home, and that kind of resonates with me right now. I'm building a house up in Brisbane, and I know what it takes, and that feeling of home. And so my passion for growing the dropship program is to make sure that we have an assortment for those people that are really trying to make their house feel like home. Customers have trusted our Freedom brand for more than 45 years for their renovations, for their home builds, for their home refreshes. And most of you will remember the first time you bought a sofa. Mine was in the 90s. It was a yellow sofa. It was corduroy, and it also had really nice winged arms with blue cushions. So pretty horrible to think about in this day. There's also some red sofas back in the 90s that probably people might have already resonate with here. But our transformation at Freedom over the last 5 years has really taken your mum's brand to a kind of TikTok-worthy, inspirational interior destination. true omni-channel approach, 55 stores, and every product that we have on our dropship program can be bought in a store and returned in a store. That true omni-channel approach. When I first explored how we could scale differently, I knew it wouldn't be simple. I needed approval to take it in the new direction, and that was just based on that inspiration that I had last year at Elevate. I know probably a lot of you sitting here are going, how can I put that AI into action? And I was like that with CRM last year. I didn't even know it existed. So I wasn't guaranteed, but there was some uncertainty about how I could get it approved. But I also knew if we didn't fix the foundations of our pace, if I didn't fix the foundations, our pace of growth would also stall. And that was the moment of seeking approval where the transformation began. So that question refers to how do you scale with confidence? That became our anchor, not just the confidence in our data, our tools, but also confidence in our people that also operate that tool. So confidence that as we grow, we keep delivering excellence at scale. So Freedom has always been design-led, but in recent years we've redefined how we operate, building decades of heritage with a digital scale. So our dropship model became this catalyst for that big shift, allowing us to expand our range while reducing our inventory and connecting customers to that curated product faster than ever. So here's some growth by numbers. So over the last 2 years, we've grown more than 200% in dropship. Our product range has grown more than 106% to 55,000 products, and by the end of this year, we'll have more than 80,000 products on our site. Sounds like a lot, but it's all curated and sits with that Freedom signature that all of our customers expect from us. So we don't want to be that eBay for homewares and furniture. We wanted that curated piece. Vendor growth has also grown 163%, which has really taken us to that next level. And we're super proud to also be on track for our $100 million goal within 5 years. So the dropship program is only almost 3 years old in January, and we're growing super fast within this kind of, timid retail environment. But with the growth also comes with the complexity, as you would understand. So our systems weren't built for the speed that we're moving. At the end of the day, we're a corporate organization. We have a lot of legacy software and legacy processes and lots of ticks and flicks that we have to get to. Data lived in spreadsheets, and my team were not afraid to send me another spreadsheet link or another spreadsheet in an email. So the teams operated in silo in that division. We also had momentum, but we also didn't have the visibility. We were scaling success, but we're also scaling the chaos as well. That became our turning point. We realized we didn't need more effort. So we needed more connection and clarity. And scaling with confidence meant building structure that people could trust within our team. So systems that brought everything together. So we were all on the Monday.com work management system, and all of our structure and visibility and how we operate it was all within that platform. It worked really well for tracking projects and workflows, but as the business scaled, we needed something more powerful. This is kind of where we started to transition over to Monday.com CRM. So at first, our challenge was to get the vendor data, communication, and performance tracking that lived across multiple tools in that screen there. We could see the tasks through each of these functions, but we couldn't see the relationships. We had people leave the team, or we had people move cross-function, and we couldn't see those relationships we had with our vendors. It was all living in Outlook inboxes, and no one had visibility. After a year of rapid growth for the dropship program, in January, we leapt into the Monday CRM, just off the back of last year Elevate conference. We built it over Christmas, and by the time the team came back in January, they were ready to use it. So there was some natural synergies there because they were coming from work management into CRM. They kind of knew how the boards worked and how the systems kind of worked. So the implementation process was a lot easier than if we had moved to HubSpot or Zoho. So it wasn't about changing the systems for the sake of it. It was about creating a single scalable source of truth, bringing it all together. So this here is a little bit of an extraction here from our vendor board. So that vendor board there, you're probably familiar if you're on work management of a board. But what's different here in that little box there is that connection back to our contact and company records. And so that's that missing link and that aha moment that I had, that every task and every board is linking right back to our vendor and contact records. So you can centralize and anchor that back. We have all of our contacts within that little push, and you can see, that number 65 there means that there's 65 emails there sitting in the back end for that particular business that we deal with. We have an activity tracker for all of our teams as well that helps centralize that and anchor that back together. This is another board, that box there, and an extraction here. And so all of our boards, and we integrate back to Microsoft Outlook, and all that information and communication with our vendors is all pulled back into Monday.com through the CRM. So you can see how easy it is. And as I said earlier, the team migrated across to the CRM and were able to start to see the effects straight away. They were no longer asking for an email to be forwarded to them. They could see it all in the CRM. And that's been a big game changer for us over the last 6 months. That means every conversation, every negotiation that we have with our vendors and also our accounts are all there in one place for us to see. A single click can turn an email into an action, a project, and also track tasks. So all of our projects that sit outside this environment as well are also linked back to our vendors as well. So it's an amazing, powerful tool. This piece here is about the mass campaigns. You might have just heard the recent speaker talk about that, and we use that a lot, this mass email function. And so when we run campaigns, which we do quite a lot, we run sales campaigns, we reach out to our vendors really quickly. So we can just go down, select the contacts. You can't really see them there, but there's vendor contacts, and we can automatically send a bulk email to those people. We can use a template, or we can edit it as we go. So whether it's 10 vendors, and I use this vendor term loosely, in your term it's probably company. Whether it's 10 vendors or 10 companies or 100, every email is tracked and really easy to use. And this is the next stage here, really, is around the mass email tracking. So you can see we've sent an email out for the Black Friday, because that's coming up in 3 weeks' time. And so that links all the way back into those boards and make sure that our teams have visibility. So you can see how many recipients there were, how it was delivered, and we also can follow up and prompt that as well by adding some workflows into that. So we know also who opened it, when they engaged, and also how they responded. And this insight has helped us follow up faster than ever and make smarter decisions in our business, transforming what used to be a guesswork into more actionable insights. And lastly, really, this is our compliance board. So over the last year, it's been a really big time in furniture and homewares around compliance. There's been some new laws that have kind of been brought in around anti-toppling furniture, around Western Australia packaging laws, and you can't send polystyrene into WA anymore. And so this created some big kind of internal pressures for the business. So what we did is we used Monday.com board and linked it all the way back to our vendor and contact records. In record time, we were able to send out communication to our vendors about all of those 55,000 products and receive all of the evidence back into Monday.com CRM. Amazing. While the rest of the business on the other side are sending out PDFs, they're still using Outlook and spreadsheets to track everything. So we did this within a month. We were able to send out that communication, receive all that, and then this links back to dashboards. And you can see at the top the different compliance. We've centralized all of our compliance within Monday CRM. We can also obviously give our business back that visibility. So when legal come knocking on my door asking, where do we stand today with our compliance for anti-toppling? One click and I can get that, extract all the information and give them a really good view. So it's really changed, and it's really that contrast between our other part of the business and us, And there's that big difference. Again, a lot more scale. They've got around 4,000 products. We've got around 55,000 products. So a big lot of evidence to collect. So Monday.com CRM, this is the proof's in the numbers. So we've saved 8,100 hours in the last 10 months since implementing CRM, and more than 272,000 in productivity savings. We've also done, our return on investment is 26 times. So a really big investment, or not a big investment, but a really good return on investment from a business perspective. But these just are numbers. They represent the time that our team got back for doing tasks that they would normally do manually. So Monday CRM gave us that confidence to grow at pace without losing control. These people are our team here in Australia, so our dropship team. So from the top there, we've got Shachi, Hannah, Marion, Eloise, Nikki, and also Belle. And at the front here, we've got Tammy. Tammy's been a big champion for us during our CRM implementation. Most of you would, when you implement a new project, you become the go-to person for that project. People come to you if something's broken, if something's not working, or they forget how to use it. So Tammy has been my go-to person, and we made Tammy the champion when we implemented the CRM. So if there's that time where they just can't remember how to do something, then they go to Tammy. We've also obviously implemented pieces within our CRM, so that if they try and take shortcuts, we can block them. So if they're trying to bypass the lead generation component and put a deal straight in because they're really excited about closing that deal, it's all blocked from the team. So they have to start the pipeline right at the start, from the lead generation all the way to deal, and make sure they close out the account the right way. That way we're capturing that information and makes it really super important. So each one of these faces represents, how we made their life a little bit easier at work. They really champion and love CRM now, and really, we have a lot of stop works. So every 2 months, we make sure we do a stop work. How can we use the tool better? How can we keep improving on what we've built? So while we set it up at the start, we don't just set and forget. We make sure we keep innovating, and obviously as Monday CRM is just continually rolling out AI and all these other tools, how can we keep on top of that with what we already do and our existing workload? If there's one thing that this journey's taught us over the time, it's that systems don't create the clarity, it's people, but the right systems make it possible. The lesson for the leaders in the room is just don't invest in the tools. It's more that invest in alignment that turns tools into transformation. Monday CRM didn't change our goals. It changed the way, how we got there and who we became along the way. So a quick question, is anyone thinking about a move to the CRM? Yeah, a few people, yep. So I've got some advice here. My recommendation, if you're moving into a CRM or you're using it and you want to scale a little bit faster, is to start small and work on one workflow at a time and build it from there. Focus on that implementation process and how your team interact with it before you are really quick to implement all the automation behind it. Monday CRM worked for us because we designed it around the people that use it, not the system. So, as I shared with you at the start, scaling with confidence isn't about chasing growth. It's about building systems that make growth feel effortless. At Freedom, that system was Monday CRM, the platform that connects our people, our vendors, and also our future of e-commerce. It allows Freedom to continue that history and legacy, connecting people to the comfort that they love without having to hide behind the cushions. Thanks for listening today.